Pardon me?
Well, brought the little speaker up.
Yeah, they brought us, what was it, talk to us.
Said you were first.
Maybe up there. If I speak first, we'll be here a long time.
Oh, sorry.
It's already covered, it's already covered everything.
You just take it on leash.
Okay.
He said, I've never seen you would turn it down. Get a few people who are always
I got
to get
full
hard
crew
to do.
today. It's shocking. Well, it's all the water, so somebody came to use your air conditioner. That must be. It's easy for the gentleman. Am I here to speak? Am I supposed to? Do we need to sign up if we're going to say something? Well, I hope you have questions. You know,
California likes to say,
you gotta get this right. Even if he doesn't, you just get up and ask. Two most of the ones that I talked to, except we'll have a few right on the three I read. We talked about 3 weeks ago, talking about they didn't have. How you doing? Good.
I'm just gonna keep saying that.
Just talking about.
get a smoke cooler, and that's all. And, you know, sometimes the humidity, it's just like. That's how they live.
They screwed that out with humidity.
There's humidity down there. Never been.
Too bad you lost your home house.
And so that's what I would get was a check. There's no insulation in it. And then they had was.
Well, he'd already kicked his wall for us. Put it in the basement. Of course.
And they turned it
I'll
off.
put it in the pocket.
And my wife would, she would, I just remember.
Yeah, so
I
yeah.
feel like it's going to freeze off.
And stop payment on the other one.
My wife would go in.
Did, was it too late since he'd already cashed it? No.
She stood right in front of it, sometimes you
They call it at 8 o'clock. Well, what I mean is, did he cash it? I don't think he, I don't know, because they did say it was in the system. I don't know if it ever showed up in Anchor D's.
Questions and stuff for most of the day, and so.
and my uncle,
It's just like I'm telling everybody, I said,
and I might not be able to do it more.
educational.
I said, this was 2000, you know, it was least
Trade it was $500. Somebody gave him a trade in
it's not as fancy. I mean,
You got him here.
I don't do that much with it.
We have a meeting tonight. We had a meeting last night.
There's a guy
We got it straightened out.
mechanic guy that worked on, see if he had, because I got some contractor, they just don't work, they just quit, I don't know if they're my school.
Did you? That kind of mistake comes like this.
And it might just be saying, well, the backside of my hair is like, that's a 4-foot mistake. And it's fixed every time people try to buy. They say that, everybody get track, in parties, you see tons of it. Oh, you're not wrong.
Big parties, if they tell you
But
it's all right, you don't even show up.
Right.
I know. That's kind of. Probably.
Trees and stuff, that cabins, no way.
How you doing? Who kicked you?
sat down and I did before 30.
There you go.
Can't see yet, you can't see.
Not much, you.
Chet, you done okay?
Doing good. How about yourself? How's life doing?
That's it, yeah.
I hadn't seen her in a while since she got back.
There ain't worth it.
Much, yeah. Don't you push that too far away from me, Gary.
Trying to get us away from it, it's like a scene. We're gonna be speaking. We'll be speaking. Not too long. I just wanted to see. Yeah, that's still gonna get in the crack. If you don't weaken, it's a wonderful day. Did you get that notice for next week, or are you part of that meeting for the design committee? Yeah, Tuesday, I can't make it. Day before, day after. 3 o'clock, we go ahead and get started. Thank you for everybody for being here today. Can you hear me all right on that? I'm going to have to do that. Okay. Whoa. Okay, way down here. I need to do some preliminary stuff here first, then we go ahead and I'd like to keep this about as informal, so that way everybody can feel comfortable, ask the questions, and I believe in just being very transparent, so if I can answer them, I will. If I can't, hang around, we'll get them answered, okay? Okay, what I first want to do is read to you today the Water Emergency Proclamation of July the 22nd, 2026. Whereas drought and heat conditions are stressing the city's water system, and whereas increased demand and water usage are contributing to emergency conditions in the city water supply. Now, therefore, I, Geraldine Sanchez, Vice Mayor of the City of Guymon, do declare that there exists a Stage 3 water emergency under the 2024 Water Conservation Plan, requiring the following regulation actions to take effect this date. Outdoor lawn irrigation will be restricted to 1 day per week. Odd number addresses may irrigate on Saturdays. Even addresses may irrigate on Sunday. Watering time will be after 7 p.m. and before 11 a.m. each day. Customers may hand water gardens and ornamentals at any time, not to include grass or turf. Waste of water as defined by the Guymon Code Ordinance, including non-compliance with emergency restrictions, will strictly be enforced. Dated this July 22nd, 2026, signed by Geraldine Sanchez, Vice Mayor. After that was issued, I immediately sent out a memorandum to the City Council and Utilities Authority Board, Department of Directors, and all city employees. Declaration of Stage 3 water emergency and implementation of emergency water conservation measures. Pursuant to the City of Guymon's 2024 Water Conservation Plan, I hereby declare that the city has entered Stage 3 water conservation effective July 21st, 2026, and that a water emergency now exists. The city's daily water production report for July 21st, 2026 indicates that the system demand reached 95.4% of the city's available production capacity. This, in conjunction with previous qualifying demand levels during the current monitoring period, satisfies the criteria established in the Water Conservation Plan for implementing Stage 3 water emergency measures. The purpose of this declaration is to protect the city's ability to provide an adequate and reliable water supply for life, health, and public safety. As demand approaches the maximum production capacity of the municipal water system, the city's ability to maintain adequate water reserves and system pressure for emergency response is significantly diminished. Preserving sufficient water capacity is critical to ensure reliable service for fire protection, emergency medical response, hospitals, schools, nursing homes, and other essential public services, as well as maintaining the ability to respond to major fires, infrastructure failures, and natural disasters. Effective immediately, all Stage 3 water conservation restrictions contained in the 2024 Water Conservation Plan shall be implemented and enforced. These restrictions include, but are not limited to: outdoor lawn irrigation is limited to 1 day per week according to approved water schedule. Outdoor lawn irrigation will be restricted to 1 day per week. Odd addresses may irrigate on Saturday. Even addresses may irrigate on Sunday. Water times will be 7 p.m. before 11 a.m. Water permitted only during designated hours. We prohibit filling bulk water tanks, trailers, and totes for transport outside the city limits. Strict enforcement and water provisions contained in the Guymon Code of Ordinances. Irrigation systems shall be operated in a manner that prevents water runoff from leaving the property. A one-week public education and notification period may be provided as authorized by the water plan, after which violations will be subject to enforcement and applicable fines. City staff are directed to immediately begin implementation of the Stage 3 water conservation measures, provide public education regarding the restriction, respond to citizen inquiries, and coordinate enforcement efforts as necessary. The Public Information Officer shall issue an emergency water proclamation, press release, website notice, and social media announcements to ensure the public is informed of these emergency measures. The city appreciates the cooperations of residents, businesses, and community partners as we work together to protect Guyana's water supply. These water conservation measures are necessary to ensure the continued delivery of safe and reliable water service while preserving adequate capacity for emergency response and public safety. Thank you for your immediate attention to this matter and your continued commitment to serving the citizens of Guyana. That's what I had to say. What I'd like to do, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions, and I want to keep this as informal as possible, but everybody needs to know if there is questions. And if you don't mind, if you have questions, don't want to take questions now, or let me just tell you where we're at. How about that? And I'll do that and we'll just close with questions. We're all running out of water. We approached yesterday, I think, Josh, we was 94% of our pumping capacity yesterday, right at 95% of pumping capacity. You're right, it's 102 degrees out there today, wind blowing just a little bit. We are pumping as much water as we can. The future. I'm going to talk about the future. Yes, if you've been hearing about the Mesa Water Project, we opened up bids Tuesday. And that well system, for your information, should be adequate enough to sustain water availability in Guymon if all the wells come in as they are predicted to, until probably 100 to 120 years from now. Currently, our water wells right now, I think I've got a little chart here, and I'll share it if you'd like to see it. Right now, we're pumping about 3,100 gallons a minute right now. A third of that is going to the Seaboard plant. But that's pretty well 24 hours a day right now, and this hot is about 3,100 gallons a minute. What I've been looking at the test results, the hydrologist reports and engineers reports in the Mesa Water Project, and we will be digging 6 wells. That's only about 2 wells. And right now we got 15 giving that 3,000 gallons a minute. If everything comes in like it's supposed to, and all indications state that the Mesa wells will come in and we'll have enough water for a very long time. But right now, we don't have it. Strictly do not have it. One of the questions asked, why is it taking it so long? Good question. Why is it taking so long to get good potable water brought inside the city limits? I came back in 2022 just to help the city out just a little bit. I was sitting around the house, retired, happily retired. But what I did notice that nobody was pursuing water. I basically came back and just helped with the water. We found the water. But something of this magnitude takes a lot of engineering, a lot of governmental bureaucracy, and we've just completed that. It's been about 3 years. Larry, if you remember right, that night I said I'd give you 2 years. I'm on year 4. I'm not going to quit. I know he's run me off yet, but they're welcome to if that's the case. You know how municipal government goes. But I'd say within the next year, about this time, maybe in July or August of 2027, we should be able to start taking advantage of the new well field. Now, yeah, we're going to have an overabundance of water. We're still going to have to be very conservative with it. 100 years are going to come and go pretty fast. And we still need to maintain that water for future generations. Right now, you can, early in the morning, you can drive around, there's more water being wasted now, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. There's a lot of water running down the street, but it's hard for me to drive down the street and see that. Everybody sitting in this room has got a concern because we're shutting water down for your lawns. If the people would waste the water, we might not even have to be in this position today. That's my opinion. Some of the questions, but the Mesa Water, we should start drilling wells probably in the next 3 weeks, maybe 4. The bids are already opened. A company out of Bisco, Oklahoma, named Timco is the lowest bid. They came in about $1.5 million underneath the engineer's budget. Total project, I'm just rounding it up, is right at $15 million, and that is not going to, well, the drilling of the wells did not, it did cost us in a way because the state of Oklahoma appropriated $20 million for phase 2, and we come in at $15 million. So this first part of the project is not going to cost you, the ratepayers, no money at this particular time. I'm just kind of leaving myself open for that one because it's eventually going to cost you. That's fact. So anyway, phase 2 is basically pretty well paid for. The money is in the bank. All we got to do is send the bill to the Department of Environmental Quality. That was the agency that the legislature appointed to divvy out the funds, and when the bills start coming in for the drilling of the water wells, it's a turnaround. So that is paid for. We have to start drilling wells, I'm going to say, within the next 30 days. The first 2 water wells, there's 6 total, there's really 7. The 7th well, we're just going to hang up on a shelf for a while because it was designed and pinpointed to be in a flood zone. And to make that a potable water, you have to invest several $1 million to get it out of the flood zone. But the 6 existing wells is going to be enough water that it's going to be astronomical. Like I just told you, we pumped 3,000. I think at least 2 wells will meet what 14 or 15 wells are pumping currently right now. So the other 4 is going to be just about that equal. So with that said, I would entertain questions, and we're airing this live online right now. And if you don't mind, I don't want you to come up. I'm going to pass you a microphone if you want to ask a question, or I can get close enough to you. We can use this one. There's some of you I don't want to get real close to, but if you have questions, please ask. I mean, we're trying to be about as transparent as we can. And if you want to hear some ugly history, I can tell you some ugly history, and it's just my opinion. But I retired here in '07. There was a plan for water. It's my opinion that it wasn't actively pursued well enough. You've got a city council now that told me to do it or get that out, basically, and their backing is 100%. It's this city council that stood up and took the chance, and it's paying off right now. Well, when I say this guy right here, he was part of that when they started. You got off in 22? Yeah, okay, 23, yeah. So you don't like to talk about past predecessors or something like that, but I feel like the city dropped the ball on you guys a long time ago. I really do. And that's my opinion. So anyway, we picked up the ball, and we were just blessed enough to find the water without having to go out and buy a couple of $3 or $4 or $5 million worth of land. We're just renting the land from the state of Oklahoma at a rate of about $3,500 a year for 55 years. Now that lease is going to go up. It'll come to School Land Commission, like everything else in the world will go up. But it's not going to go up to the point of what land costs are right now. So $3,500 versus probably about $8 million a section or something like that that had good water on it. But we're still going to have to buy the water at 25 cents per thousand. And that's all public record. I know there's been scuttle around this, that, and the other, but man, if you want to sit in writing, just let me have your email address and I will send you anything you want to see. Anyway, that said, is there questions? Chip Crone, previous city councilman to let the ball drop. Go ahead.
You're right.
Chet and I have a good relationship. We're very honest with each other, and I think that's how come we tolerate each other. I like men like that, so.
It's my understanding then that there are no wells actually completed in this basin project.
You are correct. The only thing that's completed out there is the test wells.
Okay. What is the total expected output of those wells once you get all 6 wells? All of them?
Oh, that's good. I mean, we don't know that until that actual production well has been drilled, test pumped, and we don't know that. Now, the engineer's estimate, they're very conservative. I think the overall, I'm just going to average all of them out, is right at 1,000 gallons a minute.
This 100-year.
And I disagree with that statement of the engineers. I do. Of the engineers, when they say, I mean, they're very conservative because they don't want to look like, they don't want to look wrong if it does come in bad or something like that. But what I've seen the picture of the logs, I'm not a hydrologist, been around water all my life, the sand, the gravel, and everything that come out of those test holes, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and just state that I disagree with that hydrologist estimate in 100 years. I think that's not true.
Okay. I'll send you the report that I got, and yeah. I think I've already sent it to you anyway.
In my opinion. Give me something to read. Okay.
Gotcha.
Does this water usage, does this take in a lot of forethought on economic development? I mean, let's face it, the Ogallala is pretty shallow, and we keep pushing for economic development, and I'm not sure that we can afford too much economic development, especially in the case of a lot of water using I don't think we've got a lot of room for a lot of economic.
Chet, it's a good opinion you have. It really is. I had that same opinion, but the last 2 to 3 years, my opinion's changed. I saw technology today has granted us a more better, boy, I hope my English teacher didn't hear that, a better view of the Ogallala as she lies underneath the area. When was Guyman built? When did E.T. Guyman built? 1903? 1? If that guy would have just picked up his stake and moved that way, 6-7 miles, we would not be in this same position. The Ogallala, as it looks, and I'll send this report to you, the elevation of the aquifer itself, we're in the most shallowest part in this area that you could actually be. It gets deeper to the northeast. And I can show you all kinds of reports. So I was just like you. I thought, good grief.
As you well know, I like to
I love it. Yeah. But it's not argument. It's good conversation.
But,
so yeah.
In Nebraska, top of the Ogallala, they have no water farms whatsoever. When I was on the council, when we talked about we had a report and it showed how it was all pools out in this area.
Right,
You have a pool here, pool at 5 feet, you're not going to get anything. And I understand that, and it's making more sense.
Yeah.
But we got to consider that we are in a pool area.
Right.
And it's going to be a lot harder to find that water.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
we think of it as a big ocean.
Yeah, it's not. And Chet, good point also. The city council, there was technology out there that had been used in the oil field. And some smart hydrologists thought, well, good grief, that ought to be used, and they started using it to find water. That section, and it's called electrical resistivity imaging. It took me a long time to to say that, because it's hard for me to say, but that technology for that section, and I want to round up, was close to $400,000 to do that study. City Council, you all approved that. I didn't slip it by you, it was a chance, and that chance has paid off. Because in that imaging process, it showed us where to dig, not 2 foot over, they said right here, how deep to dig, and you will find that formation of water in all 7 holes. You tell me anybody in this country today and that goes out and drills 5 to 6 holes and not get at least 3 or 4 dry holes. So that investment paid off. That was 3 years ago. There has been better technology today developed that, of course, everything's bigger, but this technology is our friend. It used to be kind of our enemy, but today in the water business is our friend. So the Ogallala, you're right, is here. I mean, I can take you out in Cimarron County and show you where the Ogallala comes right up out of the ground. So anyway, you're right. It is, but I just wish Mr. Guyman would have said, you know, golly, it looks a little better right over there. But we wouldn't be standing here today. Now, let's go back and address the economic development part of that. Yeah, you need water for economic development. That's a fact. You need economic development to have fire protection, police protection, a lot better streets, you know, we could use that. So yeah, hopefully with this water that comes in, and I hope I can prove you wrong, Chad. If not, you know, I'll admit to it, I'm wrong. And yeah, you bet. And I just got a good feeling that this project is going to bring us to the next level, so we can have a future for your grandkids, my grandkids, and everybody. Now, let's go one section to the east. Still the same section. It's not quite a section. It's 504 acres. It has already been, I want to use the word, tied up by the city of Guyman. And it lies in that same pool, but we're going to be using a new imaging system on that.
I'll give you a section.
Just the butts, the east side. Yes, sir, adjacent to where, yeah, anyway. But economic development is number one. I mean, that's where we get our money. That's where the city gets its money to operate on. So, and you're right, we got to be very careful. I mean, we had to turn down a housing development, over 200 houses about 2 years ago. We don't have the water. I think I probably was one of the first city managers who said, "Now we don't want you, we can't have you, we can't supply you." That's hard to do. That's hard to do. I think there was a Facebook question. I don't get on, excuse me, I do Facebook, but I don't do it to the point of reading all the good comments and everything. That's why I got a public information officer. And I emailed her earlier today. I said, shoot me some questions at what you've been noticing on Facebook. One of them said, why did you have a meeting at 3 o'clock today? Good question. I mean, that's kind of what we decided. I think I got an answer. You might not like it, but we have meetings every second Tuesday of every month, city council meetings. We spend millions and millions and millions of dollars that affects everybody in this room. There ain't a cotton picking soul shows up after work at 6 o'clock. Not nobody. Nobody. Staff shows up. Do I make y'all? I don't think I make y'all come, but I should. But I don't have to. I don't have to. But really, 98% of the people that show up is staff. So I hope that addressed some of the questions. Because if we need to do it 6 o'clock tonight, I'll stick around. I work for the public. If we need to do it 5:30 in the morning, we'll do it 5:30. Right, Annette? 5:30? Yeah, well, you bet. But that was one of the questions. I think it was on Facebook. There was another one. Oh, yeah, Seaboard. Well, I kind of addressed Seaboard a little bit. Here, I want to throw some rules at you. If you want to know what Seaboard uses, I have a piece of paper over here. It's not a secret, but you can fill this record, public information record out, and we can get it to you within, what, 24 hours? Or is my clerk, I don't see my clerk too, but I'd say within 24 hours. But what I can tell you,
What page is that?
good question.
Even I mean, if you, want an electronic,
I think that's why they put this on the back. Black and white copy is $1, certified copies is $1. Electronic record, there is nothing there, so no charge. So if you want to know exactly what they use, I mean, like, we can tell you to the gallons. We can do that. And I'm talking to Seaboard. But when I say Seaboard, I'm talking of Seaboard plant, the truck wash, and the biodiesel. They're all on one meter. They're all on 1 meter. So I can tell you that at 2:17 p.m. today, we were pumping 3,657 gallons a minute. This is the stuff our water guys, I mean, they monitor the system 24/7. We have a meter out there, and Seaboard at that time, at 2:16, was using 1,499 gallons a minute. Okay, 1,500 gallons, let's just round up a little bit. 3 years ago, when things got really serious, and we were faced to a water emergency, I picked up the phone, called Rick Sappington. He was my contact out there. I said, Rick, something's going on. We're pumping as much water as we can. Is there any relief that Seaboard can give? Yeah, you're getting 30% of the water. Let me see what I can do. 2 weeks later, that number went down to about 1,500 to 1,700 gallons a minute. And it's been averaging 1,500, 1,700 gallons a minute when they're in production.
It fluctuates pretty wide.
Okay, Stephen Pierce, he just answered that, but what did you say, 1,500, 1,700? I'm just for general purposes?
On average, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it was 3,500 to 3,800 when I made that call. I took that as something positive, and I'm wondering, the people that are screaming and hollering on Facebook and calling city council members, which, bless your heart, and screaming and hollering, how many in this that does all the complaining reduced your water consumption close to 50%? That's pretty good numbers. I don't know. And somebody asked, well, what did they do? I'm like, I don't know, but they did it. I still to this day, I guess I'll sit down with them and say, what'd y'all do? Probably been nice if you had done that 25 years ago, but there again, my opinion.
Did that information not be put into some of those Facebook comments?
I don't like Facebook. If you want, hear me out. I like it to keep care of my friends, my grandkids, see what they're doing, how they're going, how, somebody else's grandkids are doing, that's all I like. But public information is just a little bit different. Yeah, now, this is not the time you and I to debate. We can do that over coffee like we always do. But, yeah, we can do that. But we have an app that we invested in, and I encourage you to download that. And in that app, there is if you want to ask a question and be plumb anonymous, and not really, I know who you are, and it comes directly to my email. And there's people that use that, and they get the correct answer. They don't have to go on Facebook. I said Seaboard. They don't have to go on Facebook and just throw an answer or a question out. You can. It's just kind of like Facebook. Type it in there, shoot it there, and if I'm around, and most of them I have my phone, I don't have it with me. That it's probably answered in the next 15, 20 minutes. You see it? Yeah, it's called complaints and.
Comment, feedback, or concern.
There you go. We wanted to call it something else, but it's a. But anyway, this is. I thought that was interesting information. Yeah, Seaboard used a lot of water. They used a lot of water, but they're one of our biggest conservationists also, and they proved that to us 3 years ago. The other one was. golf course. Hey, hi Matthew. We got our Matthew's back there, and I had some facts and figures on that, had it all laid out, but I think I know them by heart. It's an independent system. It's not non-potable water, basically what that is out there. It's not connected to the city water system, and you don't want it connected to the city water system. It was at one time, I think Steve and I were just talking about that, and it was pumping so much fine sand, it filled up the mains from about the golf course north up to about 12th, 13th Street, if I remember right. So it was completely isolated, and that's all that water is used for out there, is to water the golf course. I'll be honest with you, I gave instructions to that young man right there about 2 to 3, 4 weeks ago, start watering at night. We're making you guys shut off your water. It just doesn't look right. There's a lot of misconception when you go out there by the golf course and you see that big old stream of water, they're doing that in the middle of the day, so we can't do that. And you're right, it's hard to swallow that pill. So what we've been doing, I'll be honest with you, we're watering at night, correct? Yeah. We're watering at night from a well that does not affect your drinking water here in town. And that is what, Chet? All right. It's a picture of water shooting out on the street and the city wasting water. Oh, you walk? Okay.
What do you think?
Chet, I truly appreciate it. But the golf course, gosh, let me find those numbers. You'd be surprised how little water they actually use compared to what the big city picture uses. Bear with me, and surely I've got it, and surely I might not. I had a total I'm going to quote numbers, could be wrong, but about 3 million gallons a month. That's on a good hot month. That's coming out, I'm going to call it a private well, an irrigation well. And that's what they do. But we're trying to do things, but you got an investment out there probably, if it's been built, it's been into 50, 60 years probably. It's a good investment. I golf every once in a while. There's probably a lot of people use it. It's part of economic development, brings people to town, they spend some money. And we're trying to keep it alive, basically. So, now, what I'd really like to do is do a study to show that well where it sits in the aquifer and see where it's pulling from. But I don't have about the city doesn't have $100,000 that can just kind of pinpoint that, so we're just guessing right now, so. Larry?
100,000 gallons a day.
How much?
100,000 gallons a day.
Probably if that's what it, yeah, close to it.
It ranges.
Now, that's not 365 days a year. Yeah.
How come it took so long to go out to the bids to drill the holes after the test wells were bid last December?
Well, me, I want them done the next day. It's the design, availability of parts, using the right parts, and the bureaucracy that the federal and state stuff we have to go through. We just got regulatory approval 60 days ago. Yeah. It's just hard to go out and find an engineering company that produced something that big in that quick a time. It took 2 years, basically, of drawing, so.
We could have went out for bids for the whole project as one.
No. And the reason why, Larry, I'm glad you brought that, because I was fixing to talk about that. We had phase one. Phase one is finding the water. Phase two is the drilling of the water and getting it off the site. Now, what if all this new Star Wars technology was wrong? And we knew our test wells, they showed the logs, they showed their alluvial water. I mean, there's everything in there. It should have good water. I drank some of the water that come out of that. But until you stick a 12-inch or 14-inch pump in there, turn that puppy on at full power for 48 hours and do a good pump and a drawdown on that, we do not know exactly what we've got. Okay? All the information, all the technology in the world, 99.9% of it says there's adequate water down there. But until, and this is me talking, until you stick that pump in there and turn it on, you don't know exactly what you got. So the plans are to do phase 2, drill 2 of them. If they exceed that benchmark that the engineers, we will immediately, that afternoon, we got phase 3. Phase 3 is from the southwest corner, I've looked up on the map, but that's not up here, from the southwest corner of the Mesa water field coming down and getting it to town. That is phase 3. It'll immediately go out for bids.
How many miles is that?
Oh, gosh, 4.2, I think, 4.2. Yeah, water line, booster pumps, and 2 ground storage tanks.
What was the bid per hole to drill?
800,000? I will, yeah, and we can make that available on the webpage. I think it's 880-some thousand per hole. And they were from 801 feet to Red Bed on the deepest hole, and the shallowest hole is like 760 something. Yeah. I can tell you, I was contacted yesterday late by Hydro Resources. That's who got the bid on phase 1 to do the, they submitted as subcontractors to Timco and the other company. They submitted bids to do their subbing to do. So it looks like Hydro's going to, I mean, unofficially, and we didn't even sign the contract yet. Hopefully that'll be done maybe Monday or Tuesday morning. And so I think it's Hydro Resources that got that bid, but yeah, good question. Like they were, Timco was 800 and some odd, and the other company's 1.2 million a hole. We thought, gee. And it's not your average irrigation. That's good. I'm going to start, yeah, I mean, we got all day. A municipal well is a municipal well. We have to meet all kind of rules, standards, the whole 9 yards. You as a farmer, you can go stick something in the ground, it don't make a, yeah, it's 2 different ball games, 2 different ball games. Probably an agricultural well, I don't know what an ag well right now costs, but I don't think it's $800,000. Yeah, I just bet you it's not, probably $250,000. I mean, that's my opinion, but anyway. But to answer that question you first stated, as soon as those 2 wells come in, and if one comes in, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. We gotta get this thing rolling. I've waited way too long. These guys wasted way too much of the night sleeping, and you, the citizens, don't need to be putting up with a bunch of wait period. We're up to you. You know, drilling 8 holes, they ought to be done 30 days. Casing and everything. Now, okay, that's just the drilling part of it. Still a phase 2, there's all the collector lines, the electrical lines, the fiber optic lines, ingress, regress roads and stuff like that, and well houses. Prefab well houses, as soon as the contract signed tomorrow or Tuesday, whenever that day is, they'll start making all 6 well houses, so yeah. So I'd say within 30, 45 days, it should be getting pretty close to being done.
Have we got all the right of way that we need?
We do. We do. And if you'd like to see them, I can ship those to you too. That took a while. It took a lot of engineering. As anybody in this room, have you tried to get a survey lately? Hard to get a survey. Yeah. We miss Sedco. No, that's living in the past, and we don't need to do that no more. Hi there, young lady, how are you? So anyway. Huh?
I miss Sedco.
Yeah, we all do. Your sister showed up, excuse me. Anything else on Facebook we need to address? I don't mind. Yeah, Check, believe it or not.
Who do we contact up here to get information on the city websites?
Me? You got my number.
Pass it on to one of these.
Well, there you go.
Who do I call?
Well, nobody likes you but me, so we can talk.
He is ready to.
Golly.
No, seriously.
No. If there is something wrong on the website, you see it, you can call 338-3396, ask for anybody. Anybody. I mean, good grief. I'd rather talk to you, but you probably don't want to, but that's all right. But Annette or Ginger or just anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they can't help it, they're going to pass you to somebody that will. They will.
Take the time frame, phase 3, let it happen.
Right now, in the time schedule, as far as completion, gosh, I wish I could tell you that.
4 months.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm hope to be having a haircut and drinking water in July, August of 2027. That means everything's done. If that... Huh?
So what are you drinking?
I mean, I'm drinking water, but, I mean, drinking water from the Mesa field, excuse me, the Mesa water field, and getting a haircut, hopefully by July or August of 2027. Now, there's going to be something come up. As you well know, as construction, there's something going to come up. Now, what we're getting told by the lowest bidder now, his pipe is lined up, ready to be bought. It's made here in the United States, good thing. No tariff or nothing like that. It's some kind of, it's the same type of pipe that we used out at the golf course when we put the irrigation system in. Big old black, thick wall stuff.
What size are you?
There's 18, 24 inch, 18 and 24 inches, I think, scattered out. Oh, another thing, I thought of this. The question a while ago, why did it take so long? We had to conduct a hydraulic study for the entire town. You just don't take that much water and stick it into the system, and it's not going to affect. So we had to completely do it. That hydraulic study took a year to complete. And basically, in a layman's term, and that's how I like to look at things, is that I think there's 1 or 2 points of entry of the Mesa Waterfield coming in right now. 2 points of entry. We just had to put in a certain place where it would affect the whole entire system. We might have had, 6,000 gallon a minute coming in here, and you might not have any water southwest part of town. So it all had to come together, and they call that a hydraulic study. And that was something unexpected. I mean, good grief. So we got that done. That was another thing that took some time.
I'll bring up quality of life. After all this gets done, I do too. Does the lake get refilled?
Hey, good question. The lake will be filled when the good Lord decides to make it rain. So that's the only thing that's going into it right now, okay? Right now. Until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had water running into it. We pumped that well just as dry as you can pump it. I mean, it is gone. I mean, you might be able to get a half gallon out of it or something like that. It's done. I'm pretty sure when Ritter put that last pump in, and Ritter Water Well, I assumed he put it right down on the bottom of the hole. It's gone. We shut it off 2 weeks ago, probably. Josh, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay, because it was just running, nothing coming out of it. Now, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm not through. I know you.
Somebody else has asked a bunch of questions, I'm just trying to...
That's all right. I mean, it's just like you and I talking. But anyway, let's talk about that lake. Let's talk about the lake. It stinks. I mean, it doesn't stink. Well, it probably does, but it hurts to go by that thing and see it's the cotton picking load. Okay? Yeah, but it's a thing that it's happening everywhere right now. You go to South Texas, you go into New Mexico, you go, well, not east, I mean, everything's filled up east of us. You go up into Colorado and Kansas, all the reservoirs are gone. They're gone. And it's just because of availability of rainwater right now. And if there's been a change in something, I don't know what it is, but we're not getting the runoff going into that lake right now.
In other
But-
words, when it goes dry, it's gonna stay dry.
If it goes dry, yeah, it'd be a good opportunity to clean that lake out. 1985, I found a pamphlet when they went in there and dredged it out. And I'm not laughing because it's probably going to happen to us if we ever get to that point. They was in there dredging it out. It hadn't rained for like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years. They had equipment stashed in there, and guess what happened? It rained. And they had to fish equipment out of that lake in '85. They had to wait another 3 or 4 or 5 years to go complete the project, so yeah. I got the pamphlet, there again, I found it in some stuff, I don't know where I got it, but the Army Corps of Engineers, there was a grant issued to the city of Guyman at that particular time. I think it was in '85, I could be 83 or 85, like that. Now,
City has no plans to
yeah,
build water.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. You do. Yes, we do. I'm going to show you an illustration here. There's a water well that we have, and you remember what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, we had to send out a public notice that we had high nitrates in the water? Somehow, we've got nitrates creeping into our public water supply. Who knows where it's coming from? We have a water well on the east side of town right now that is number 24. East? West? Okay, let's go to the other. It's on the west side of town. I probably should have said, but anyway, it's 24. You see it's red down? Okay. There are plans to have that piped to to the golf course, and what is that, Dry Gulf Creek, isn't it? Is that what they call that? That runs through the golf course and ends up into Thompson Lake. I'm calling that on the back side of the Mesa Water Project. The plans are almost done. So, but that could be a year, 2 years from now. But yeah, there are plans, yes, sir. It's coming at a cost. Let me tell you why we're going to use that well that's highly contaminated with nitrates. If that well was closer to some other water wells, you wouldn't be getting that well into the lake, because for us, the city of Guyana put a nitrate system out there to strip that, and it's basically just a stripper. You strip the nitrates out of that, it costs $2-3 million. It's just not cost per, your water bill would go to cotton picking high for 350 gallon a minute, something like that, yeah. It just wouldn't be feasible enough. So, I mean, I just wanted to make that clear. We are going to use that well. Preliminary approval from Department of Wildlife and DEQ says there's not going to be any problem. We're going to have to do a little bit of, not treatment, but going to let Mother Nature treat it as she's going to the lake, so, yeah. Chet, you got a question on that?
Could we not use part of that water in the golf course well and go into the lake?
Probably could. Probably could.
In the winter time,
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
I'm gonna disagree with you. You know, you made a comment that that well was independent, was still part of the aquifer. But if we're getting a lot of part of it independent, let's pump it over the lake as well as golf.
You know, it's, that's something I've looked into the last, probably the last 6-8 months. There's some pros and some cons. I'm working on the pros and cons to release to the public as we stand here right now. I've got a draft that's sitting right over there. I've not shared that with staff, and I feel like I owe it to staff before I share it to the public. Hope you can respect that. There's more cons than there are pros to that. I'll just tell you one of them that concerns me right now. We could turn it to the lake today. What if that well goes down? And then you've got I want to call it a $10 million investment at the golf course that's sitting there burning up. A set of greens will burn up in, 3 days without good water? Yeah. Boom. Yeah. But yeah, I thought of that.
Okay, in relation to that, 20, say around 2012,
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Someplace in there was a lot of work on getting a permit to clarify the water out of Seaboard and pump it around.
Yeah.
Bring it in for the golf
Yeah.
course and
Well,
can you tell us a little about that?
yeah, certainly. I'll bring you up to date on that. You're right, in probably 10, I wasn't around, I was doing some other crazy stuff. The city of Guyman had petitioned the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality to take your wastewater, is it called Class 5 or 2? Class 5, isn't it? And treating it a little bit and dumping it right back into the lake. That was met with a lot of opposition back then for some reason. A lot of opposition by DEQ, your regulatory agency. It's not that the city didn't want to do it, but the regulatory that would allow us to do it just throwed up all kinds of red flags.
Seems like that, with a lot of argument, and a lot of input from city officials, and what have you, DEQ started coming around.
They did. They have. That and a lot of retirement. Some of the early engineers that were old school about said something I probably shouldn't have said on live TV, but it's very favorable today. I will tell. Let's talk about the total reuse. I personally would rather see that water totally reused and go right back into the water tower we can drink it. That is being considered as we. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Yeah. You ever been to Las Vegas? No, how about, let's just start with Wichita Falls, Kansas, or Texas. Yeah, they're doing it all around the world today. Yeah.
Design after Epcot Center back in the 80s,
What was?
our wastewater treatment plant.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Bunch of them went to Epcot Center to look into where they were reusing.
Yeah.
Then they came back and started proposing this.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Do you know the city of Guyman is treating their wastewater coming out of the domestic side and dumping, what, 1.8 million, an average, into the Beaver River? I guarantee you, Larry and I, if we got thirsty, we'd go out there and drink that water. It's that good a quality.
They say a turnaround there, they said you would literally take time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you might have to, but it's,
Go west and come around into the lake.
but you know, we did some preliminary numbers to take that water instead of dumping it into the Beaver River. It'd cost you about 10, 15 million just to get it back over. I mean, it's all straight uphill, but golly, if we knew then what we know now, we would never let that happen. We'd have designed all of our wastewater treatment plants on that side. I mean, you know, hindsight is 20/20. But yeah, 1.8, say 2 million gallons a day of domestic. When I say domestic, I'm not talking seaboard. I mean, they give us a ton of water every day. 4 million? And right at 4? I'm looking at Mike. He's, yeah, okay, over 2. Okay, let's say 3, split the difference. That's a lot of water. And it's being land applied right now and growing crops, and we get a percentage of the crops. That water, hopefully, one day will be used to just drink, basically. Yeah.
Why can't it go back into the plant?
Yeah.
Why don't they use that water?
Instead of some of that, yeah, what they call that, it's not gray water, but I'm sure there's got to be, and it being a USDA plant,
Yeah.
that cross connection, I'm sure that is a nightmare in itself. I had a question just this morning, maybe yesterday, why didn't Seaboard drill their own wells? Hey, great question. Why drill your own wells? Because, you know, you have to be a certified operator and all that other, and we're here. You know, we produce a very clean water, no back teas, no E. coli. I mean, so, yeah, I'm sure they've run those numbers before. And yes, Seaboard pays a water bill. Huge amount of water bill. Yeah.
Do they have to cut back now? I know you said they're up in half. Is there some way they can cut back more? You know, because the rest of it, I mean,
Yeah. Well, okay, Rocky, that's a good question too, but back 2 or 3 years ago when they cut down 50%, that's great. But nobody else cut down that much. I mean, so,
but I mean,
yeah. But it's a good question. But, and I'm sure, yeah. Yeah, but Seaboard, they're a corporation, and their bottom line is to make money.
Yeah.
And to make money, they they cut every corner they can. I'm not speaking for Rick, never can, never will, don't want to. But I'm sure they are probably about as conservative as they could get at this point in time. Yeah. Good question.
50% spot.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I questioned our meters, to be right honest with you. How does one company do that in 2 weeks? That's when I said, how come you didn't do that 25 years ago? Yeah.
About meters, how successful has it?
Oh.
Automatic reading bid?
Oh, love those automatic meters. We can tell everything that you guys are doing. We know you guys are breaking the law. We do. I mean, we can run a report on city property and everything, but we know the ones that are breaking the law. And it's called breaking the law. Yeah.
That brings up my next question.
Are you working for somebody or what? Are you working for somebody or what?
I'm retired and got nothing better to do.
That's what I hear.
Can you tell us how many citations have been written? How many notices have been hung on people that have been breaking the law?
I love that. I love that answer. Yeah, question.
How much fines have been collected?
Yeah. Not off the top of my head, I can't.
How many people have paid their fines?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head, but we just started yesterday on the emergency. And I hope if you get one of these, you're going to get fined. I think the first week you don't get fined, right? Okay. Okay? After that, we'll publish the fine. Don't ask me what the fines are, but as far as citation, I can get that to you. We can get it to you or give it to the group. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, I'd like to know how
Yeah.
many people are actually paying their
Yeah.
fines.
Yeah.
How many were writing?
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that for you. I can get that for you.
I'd know what parts of town they were.
I would. I'd be tickled to death to tell you who they are.
Well, I don't want that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you died. I know. I know you are. Oh, no,
Is
no.
everybody on those automatic meters now?
I think we have, how many, we've cut that down to maybe,
40 or 50?
yeah, out of 40, so I'm gonna say 4,500, 5,000 meters. Yeah. And like I said, there's a lot of people that don't follow the rules and regulations. Now, there's people waking up who wants to wake up at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, turn it on real quick before Jenny or somebody drives by? We've got a lot of people doing that. But we see it. It flags it up all the time. There again, technology is our friend. We know exactly. Yeah, so, and I don't know if I look back here, because that's where the system lies, that we could probably just automatically send citations and fines and add them to your water bill. I don't want to get there. I don't want to get there, because, you guys are going to be mad. And I know, it might come to that. It might come to that.
So is the fines on the people not watering the right days, or what? How does that work?
Well, it measures, what's those, every minute it monitors, we can tell you just, when you flush your toilet at 3 o'clock in the morning, and boom.
Water every day.
Oh, yeah.
Fines that way, or just when you water?
It graphs your entire usage hourly.
And we can tell that computer to go in there and
So
yeah,
it's fines based on how much you use, or the days you're not supposed to be watering?
days you're not supposed to be watering. Yeah. And there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and it gets up to about the sixth offense. I don't know how we're gonna collect it.
Put that into this report you're gonna send me,
Yeah.
how many people are up to or past the sixth offense?
Yeah, we can do that, I think, can we? Yeah, oh yeah. Now, where am I gonna send that, to you? Because this is your people, I guess, because you're the spokesperson, but no.
I'll do whatever I can.
Okay, I appreciate it. We will put that on the webpage. Not gonna put it on Facebook. It'll end up there somehow, but we ain't putting it on
Yeah,
there.
you'll give it.
Well, I guess we do put it on there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and we've turned off the comments. There's a reason why we turned off. Let's address that. I think that's the last question. Now, wait a minute. Yeah.
Let me make
Yeah.
a comment. Well, one of the points I'm bringing that up is the fact that one of the things that we're seeing time after time after time on Facebook is the comment, and, you know, yeah, you can't comment on your stuff, but the comments are saying, well, I guess if you can afford it, you can go ahead and buy it.
I've seen that. I've seen some,
Would you ever try to turn somebody's water completely off, domestic water in their house?
there was a time the other day I really wanted to. Not domestic, it was commercial. They just basically, yeah, I threatened, I can use that word. I pick up the phone and try to call, I'm going to say it, Brahms. They was disrespecting my people. My people would go up and be very courteous and kind to them, to their manager. Yeah, but this blowed them off. I made one phone call to Brahms and said, you don't ever fix by the end of the day, we're shutting you off. And I just hung up the phone. I can't do that legally. Now, I'll be honest with you, but if they start disrespecting my people, it kind of turns, yeah, it's just not right. And you looked, they started fixing things. I don't think we can actually legally do it. Yes, we can. Okay.
There is one.
Is there? Good. Okay, I guess we can turn the water off.
When your trailers are saying you can't load and deliver outside of town, it's going to take in nutrient, they can take in seaboard, like the county, when they take water out to beach roads, is nutrient, when they haul or make the fertilizer, they're probably 85, 90%, 5% water. They're commercial operation, but the way you stated it, they can't.
Yeah, the way the resolution is, you just cannot fill it up to get outside. I'm glad you brought the word outside up. I'm not going to tell the world that you brought it up. I'm going to bring this up.
What's your name? One reason I asked, I ran that 9-foot service, ran Nichols, and we hauled water out of the wolf.
That's right, that's
I
right.
had a 3-inch meter, so that would cut that.
Yeah. Well, technically, right now, I can't do it. Wow.
Seaboard does the same thing, they take the work out, they go out and do the locations at times, you use water.
We'll address that. Thank you. Ooh, interesting. And I just lost, oh, City Government, and I've been asked this, and we're getting into a time that there's a lot of outside influences wanting our water. And that's all I'm going to say. I have consistently told the outside influences that they can't have anything. We want the water made for Guymon inside the Guymon city limits. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, we have customers that have been customers of the city all the time that has water and they live outside the city limits. I think, and we're doing some investigating and some looking at some of the records, that if there ever was a, man, I don't want to say, I'm just going to say it, and I could be wrong. I thought that there was a resolution passed that if there ever was a shortage of water, everything outside the city limits is shut off immediately. There's 33 businesses that depend on that. We're trying to find that ordinance and that resolution when we started looking yesterday. But I'm going back 5 years that there was that dire need to often to conserve water. Boom. They'll be some of the first ones shut off. And I think we put a list together yesterday, 30 plus right now. It's in commercial businesses. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If everybody would just do their part, waste that water and Mary and Sunday, we'll get through this stick. We'll get through this part.
Problem is, you have no teeth outside the city limits, if you're supplying water, if you're wasting water,
Yeah. They're on water meters right now. We can tell what they've been doing, what they're not doing.
outside the city limits.
Yes, sir. Yeah. If the is on the city again, we've got electronic communication with and we can tell. We can find what you're looking for us. Look for Steve. I want to be here. But yeah, we have, and gosh, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. But I still think the citizens, 2 weeks ago, we seen a dramatic decrease in our consumption because we was getting close to stage 3, and you know how we all talk. And I might have let it slip at Lowe's or yeah, and we saw some dramatic decline of it. But well, this week, I mean, somebody's been using a lot of water. And we know the ones that are. We do. We know the ones that are right now. It's some city departments. That come to a complete halt yesterday. Yeah, we made mistakes.
You gonna let them finish the football field, let him water, or what are you gonna do?
Now, that meters, no, that's a good question. Let's just do a set. I think that was a Facebook comment.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This wasn't a Facebook comment? Oh, it was somebody else? Okay. It was not. Yeah, who wouldn't want to see it come in, but it wasn't a mandate that they go to turf. No, it's real, man. It was truth. No. Yeah, but no, we just...
Yeah, I want to finish it, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that was done like that. The school was very cooperative. I will say that. They was very cooperative last year. If they was taking Nutrien, who just said that? Nutrien was hauling water down there to them. Anyway, yeah.
We have a new scoreboard, we have a new bathroom, we have a new concession stand. We can't help but have a state champion.
Next question.
He's drinking something.
I have one more question.
Yeah, that's, sure. Mark that down, whoever's keeping notes, yeah.
Could you confirm or deny either one about a data center out south of town? And I'm concerned basically, and everybody says, about the Oklahoma. And I'll tell you why I'm so interested in the Oklahoma. About 50 years ago, I lived in Wyoming. I had her down my yard, literally cut my yard in half. And I was paying more for water at that time, 50 years ago, than I was gas and electric.
Oh my gosh.
So I am concerned about it.
Oh, yeah. I'll address that question. Show me the facts and figures where what'd you call it? A data center? Tell me exactly how much water they use.
I've been trying to find that out.
There you go. So I can't answer that. Now, do I know anything? Yeah, I do. I know there's why do I keep forgetting, a solar farm being built. I heard about it. I've not been out there. I know the Department of Commerce had a tour of that and of that facility. I was invited to go, but day runs short. And if I remember right, the agenda said something about tour of the solar farm. When I say Department of Commerce, we finally get some representation from the Department of Commerce from the state of Oklahoma. Finally. Yeah, that's a sore spot. It's a state agency that just didn't really care. We have a local representative here that is representing the state of Oklahoma and catering it to our area. And they scheduled a tour of a whole lot of different things. One of them was the Mesa Water Project, the airport, and some other stuff, and a solar farm / data center. I seen the agenda. That come in public information. So, I don't know what it is. But until you start telling me, show me exact figures, from a data center engineer, I don't know what they call them. I couldn't tell you if they use water or what. Ask me one more question. I I know you, no, please ask me. I want you to, I addressed that a while ago when I said outside influences. They have tried to come to us, and I said, no, our water is for our constituents right here inside the city limits of Guyman, number one. Yeah. So, I can't just say it out loud, but that's, you know what I mean. You had a question? You just like Chet, okay. I do too.
Question on how much status
You have scientific proof? I would just see it. I really would, because I'm asked that question, and where did that come from? An AI, or data center, didn't it? Yeah. How much did it say? Just curious. We're just talking.
A small data center uses 10,000 to 100,000 gallons per day, up to 2 million.
Okay. Okay.
Depends on the type of cooling system they have.
Say again?
It depends on the type of cooling system they have.
Exactly. Yeah, and there again, that technology is getting around, because they're catching a lot of heat right now. Well, who wouldn't stay away from water? Let's do an air conditioner. Duh.
These outside influences you talk about, I don't care, don't mention one on TV.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not,
The question is, do you have an actual name of, like, who is putting in a data center or wants to put in a data center?
no, I just know the construction company.
An avenue to go to.
Yeah, Blattner Construction, those are the ones that we shut off all the water outside the city limits. They were the construction people. And Invenergy. Invenergy is the company. If you want contact information on it, I keep looking for my phone, but yeah, holler at me. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, we should.
Data centers, you're cutting the water off, wouldn't that be like, maybe she should build out there?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you're cutting the water off, and they said that data centers use water, wouldn't that be a red flag? No.
Yeah. So I don't understand how come they're wanting the water come, drill you a cotton picking well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion. Just drill your well. Get it like everybody else gets it. Anyway. But yeah. Gosh, it's been a great hour. We'll do this again at 6. Really? Oh, we can't miss that. Anything else in that? Yeah. Ms. Eggers, come on, I know you got a question. Come fire something at me. Now, but, if you think of something, it's 651-5000. These guys know my number. You might as well know it too. And I might not answer it right then, but I will get back with you. Somehow, all these, okay, I can say that, all these young people like to text you. I don't look at my text that often, and I should. But if you call me, man, I don't know why. I'm an email freak. I'll wake up at 2 o'clock and answer an email, and I don't know why. But if you got a question, reach out. Don't reach out to Facebook and say, what do you think? Yeah. Now, there's a reason for Facebook. There is. I ain't figured out what it is yet, but there's got to be a reason for it. And that's what I did. I asked Annette, she gets on Facebook to just kind of monitor everything because that's her job. But, the main thing was, how come we had the meeting at 3 o'clock? Well, nobody comes at 6 anyway. So, yeah. And we have a budget. I don't mind paying overtime. Hit grief. All these clowns over getting overtime, that's a lot of money. No, they're worth every cotton picking dime of it, let me tell you. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I do want to thank, we had one city councilman today, And we appreciate Garrett Helton showing up today. I appreciate that. That's funny, he texted me. Was it a text or an email? Oh, it's emailed it out, yeah. And I said, man, I can't tell the boss what to do. I said, you want to come? Great, But I am so proud he came, though, really. That's quality you got. The rest of them I got one. One's out in Kansas, the other's got a full-time job, he got to work for a living. But you do have a city council that cares today and is holding everybody's feet to the fire. Yeah.
This goes back to, a while back, we were really short on water.
This afternoon, yeah.
City council meeting on.
Okay.
Is the mayor's wife washing the sheets yet?
I think that went down to about twice a month now. She was at 3 times a month, and they're cutting back. We're going to get in trouble with that one, you know that. Okay. I'm in good company. Okay. Well, no, everybody came today. I truly appreciate you coming. And if we want to do this once a week, let's do it. Once a month, let's do it. Once a month. I mean, I'm tickled to death to do it. Because there's a lot more going on than just water. And we got wastewater projects coming on. Well, it's kind of like water. We got street projects. We've got I got people here. Yeah, you have to come here. We got a sales tax referendum coming up it's going to expire in 2027. And you think so? Okay. And I appreciate that, to know that, because you're going to be my target. True. You're going to start hearing a lot about the continuance of that sales tax. Not going to be increased, but it matures in December of 2027. We need it to make it permanent. No, it's 2027. I got the book that you signed. Yeah.
How they sold it to us the first time, but boy.
Oh, yeah,
You're having a hard time convincing me that.
You wait till I get through talking to you. You're going to be my prime candidate to promote it. Yeah.
And it wasn't, we built 3 buildings.
I'll be darned. That's what you get when you run off a good city manager. Whoa. Now, this, Larry and I have done a lot of talk in the last 3 years. There's some things done wrong. Fact. And there's going to be there's a new staff that likes to follow the rules and regulations and likes to keep the word. Every one of us. It's going to be a different deal. Uh-oh. Where are you going? No, I'm not teasing. You're welcome to go. But anyway, I do truly appreciate everybody coming, but there's 2 sales tax to be ready. You'll be starting hearing some propaganda about it. It's all going to be positive. And of course, it's going to be infrastructure. And it's going to be a lot of different things that this city needs to maintain. Because we got used to a level up here of, except for our streets. We're streets in the world. It's pathetic. Is that right? But anyway, just beware. You'll be hearing a lot of that in the next probably 30, 45, 60 days. So, yeah. And there will be an election. But anyway, thanks. Garrett, thank you for attending today. Means the world. Means a lot. Oh, thank you, Chad. I appreciate you. You know I do. Even though we disagree about 98% of the time. But you have sharpened me up really sharp, let me tell you.
It's not court of water, but like your city utility bills you send out, you never send out anything that shows a rate increase. You gotta go back and figure your units, so what is charged, and you insert in the envelope, you actually have a rate increase for sewage, water, and gas.
I guess we don't, do we? We just, we pass it during a meeting that nobody shows up to, and everybody knows about it, and we show that increase. I guess, a good point. We don't say, hey, public, guess what? Expect X amount. Yeah.
Put an insert in 3 months.
Yeah, you're not, we're gonna get plumb away from that insert stuff the other day. You would not believe, this is how it goes right now. I found out a couple years ago, but there's been some other pressing issues. Our water bills that you get today are printed, stuffed, and mailed in Dallas, Texas. What the heck? What? That ain't right. That ain't right. And your time starts when it leaves in Dallas. Guess what? Yeah, it may be a week before it gets up here. We are looking into that. I don't see Keith, he's gone today, but you're going to see a different billing system, a lot simpler. We can point it to where we can send a message out to Larry and Chet. It's going to be fun, but that's a good question. Well, we should be doing it. We owe it to you. If we're going to, yeah. We decreased your gas 2 or 3 months ago. You never knew it. Okay, well, but we'll make that happen. We'll make that happen. Again, we didn't have any winter, and nobody used gas, and we had to do some budget amendments this last time with $2 million. I overshot the runway at $2 million. And we couldn't sell any gas. When the winter, nobody got cold. Ernie did, but he just had blankets. Anyway, but I do appreciate it. And if we want to, let's just do this once a month. I've enjoyed it. And there's going to be some topics that come up that I probably won't enjoy, but hey, it's all right. Yeah. Well, please download that app. It's free. It's free. And your phone will go off and there's something exciting going on. You can just look at it, boom, and because everything that we do, we push out through the app. Are you an app guy? I wasn't until, almost had to be. But, and we do go to Facebook. Anyway. And if you like me, you're going to walk out that door and go, gosh, wasn't that nice? Call me, 651-5000, okay? Thank you.